Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
Medianoche.
Podcast.
Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? We're back with another episode of the Medianoche podcast. This is Art Morera. I'm here posted at the New Yorker for the last couple days that I'm here before I move on from being here. I got Morty posted, and I have my man 1000 or Sir Charles.
Yeah,
what is it now?
Sir Charles. I think it's gonna be Sir Charles. Like the AKA will be 1000. But
I'm just gonna call you 1000, bro.
That's what's gonna. I mean, I don't want people to start calling me, hey, Sir Charles, what's up, man? Like 1000, it's been too many years, so I know all my friends are still gonna be calling me 1000, but as far as like the artist's name is like, I think I'm gonna stick to Sir Charles, and maybe it'll be, depending on what I put out, maybe 1000 will be the more like the MC side, where it's just like focusing on lyrics. Sir Charles, the whole reason I came up with that was for this album. When I first started making the album, it was supposed to be like a more personal approach, so I figured, it sounds better.
Oh, okay. So like it's more personal, and Sir Charles, and that has the word search in it. Like Sir Charles. I don't know. It makes sense. That's what's up, man. Yo, congrats, bro. He came out with the album, bro.
Yeah, finally. It's been a long time in the making, bro.
For real, you've been talking about it for like 30 years.
Yeah, man. I know a lot of people are started to look at me like, man, you're full of shit. You're blowing smoke with people's ass. But yeah, man, it's just, I didn't plan it like that, man. In between this album, a lot of shit happened. It's been probably 5 years. So in between that, I quit rap a few times. When I first started making the album, I was more focused on battling. I also wasn't stable in my real life, so like that was the main thing. It was just like, on and off jobs and not being able to invest in my art, man, as consistently as I am now and doing what I am now. So everything's kind of falling into place now. But yeah, for a good few years, man, I've been working on this album.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now on Apple Music so I can look at the track listing. But yeah, man, I bumped the album like a little bit more than twice. I just had it on repeat while I was doing shit. And it's a solid album, bro. Like, I don't know if you I don't know if you've heard the last couple episodes of my podcast, but like I've been pretty vocal about how I'm a little disappointed on over time, right? On the musical output of South Florida underground scene. This is just my opinion. I know it's kind of controversial because everyone wants to be told that they're amazing all the time, but I'm sorry, no. I'm not gonna enable that. Like if I'm not feeling something, and I would want that for me too. If someone's not feeling what I do, bro, just tell me. Be real. I will respect that more.
Yeah, of course, man.
But yo, like, man, your project is a dope listen, bro. And like I promise you, I'm really appreciative of that. Because when someone comes out with an album, I listen to it and I just cannot enjoy it. It's like, fuck.
Yeah, thank you, man. I think a lot of people didn't. What a lot of people have told me is like every time I show them like a song or two before I put the album out, like they notice, or even with the What They Do project, like everyone's like, yo, you've improved a lot since we last heard you. And for me, it's like I've been laying low with a lot of the shit that I've been doing. So, a lot of people, they don't see the progression day by day. So they see this for the first time, and I don't think a lot of people expected it to be, not to like, I can't really judge my own album, but just based off of what every person has told me, it's not like I have thousands of followers, but the people that have been tuning in, it's like a genuine feedback of just like, yo, like this is really fucking good. Like it's just, you told me yourself, like it's just, I think what was you said something like, you know, it doesn't have like any singles, but they're like solid songs that.
Yeah, and those are the best albums. The albums that don't have, well, mind you, I mean, unless if you're like Michael Jackson or Kanye West, where every song is a single, like, unless if you're that, as long as you come out with like a solid album, those age the best, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of having an album that has one crazy big ass single and then you always skip that song, that affects the whole album experience. You know, like an album that I've been bumping a lot is Evidence's Whether or Not, and that album is just a great listen from beginning to end. And your album also is the sequencing of all the songs, like just you know what I'm saying, like it's a really good listen, man. So I'm proud of you, bro.
Man. Hey man, it's not, there's a lot of help put into it too, you know, so like just sonically alone, the way it sounds, if you compare it to my last album, it's a lot, like it's so much better, man. And that's my homie, a good friend of mine, Bully Banger. He also did the album cover artwork. Like he does pretty much, if I don't go to you for videos, that's the dude I go to, man. And he's you know, he made this shit sound really fucking dope, man.
All right, so let's get into it, man. From one MC to another, man. I'm looking at the track listing right here, and so this is what we'll do, man. I kind of like this format, and I'm selective of which MCs I do this with. I'm gonna bring up a track and we'll just talk about what it's about. You down with that?
Yeah.
All right. Give Me My Flowers.
Give Me My Flowers.
Yeah.
Yo, honestly, that's just like a freestyle, man. I didn't have a name for the song, so it was just a song that I kind of freely wrote, just not thinking of a concept. And you know, the last few bars, it sums up, like, it's a dope song in my opinion. Like, that's one of my favorite songs on it, and just because it's like, it's a dope like ride out track, you know. It's short and gets to the point. And the last few bars I say, y'all should give me my flowers while y'all can smell them. Y'all should give me my flowers while y'all can smell them. Bump this shit and go tell your best friends. And that like speaks volumes, especially in our scene, bro. In Miami, is like, people don't spread this shit. It's like, I know that what I put out is a lot better than like a lot of shit that they play on radios, and that's not me, you know. It's just it's honestly, I mean, it's like a honest, like, I think there's a lot of whack shit that gets played, man. So it's like, you know, that's the whole reason I called it that. Give me my flowers. Like, yo, you like, enjoy this shit now, because if we die, you know, like, that's when people start bringing, like, the same shit with Nipsey Hussle, for example. You know, I'm even one of those, man. Like, I never got into Nipsey like that, but once he passed, I started like reading into his you know, like everything he's done. I've been looking up his music and stuff, and you know, it's like, for like people that know me personally, like, don't just tell me, like, go around and tell your friends they're fucking bumping Lil Yachty and shit like that, man. Like, you know.
Yeah, nah, I feel you, man. I feel like that's the underlining theme of everyone on the come up. It's like, yo, just give him my flowers, bro. Like, it takes you 20, 30, 40 minutes to bump an album, and that raises the morale of the artist so much, just to hear from somebody like, yo, I bumped it, I like this song and I like that song. And even if they don't like the whole album, they rode through it.
Yeah,
you know,
just that alone, even that, like, I love getting feedback like that, man, just because like people go out of their way to like, so it means like they listened and it affected them enough to be like, yo, like, I have to, you know what I mean, like, let me hit this dude up and let him know, you know. And that alone, just, that means a lot to me, man.
Yeah, me too, for sure. Like, when someone follows up with you, the thing is that for a while, I you know, when I was coming out with like my earlier projects, I would hit everyone up, and you almost like assign them a listen. Yo, check this out. Hit me with some feedback. Appreciate it. All right, for sure. You been good? Yeah, I've been all right. All right, peace. And then when they hit me back up, like, yo, blase blah, whatever, whoopty whoop, about what they feel about it. It feels great. But then also over time, like, you can kind of tell when they're telling this to you because you asked them to, not because you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I picked up on that, and I started to feel more like a burden to the people that are in my life. Like, yo, if I'm in your life, you owe me this attention, and that entitlement, I didn't like that feeling. I cut that off real quick, and that's why now.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I kind of went through that yesterday with Infinite. He was, because we have like a Smoke and Mirrors group page, and yo, he's throughout the day, bro. He's posting the most random shit. It's like, and I was like, yo, man, can you fucking post my, and like, as I was like, man, I shouldn't even have to tell them this shit, you know. And that's the reason why, like, I don't, the whole social media thing, like, it makes me feel like it's weird, man. It's a weird feeling. It's like when I posted this project out, I was torn in between, like, yo, should I like tag at least like a few people so they hear the shit, or just let it be? And it was like, and I did that, and then afterwards I was like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. It's just like, it's there. If you want to find it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can find the shit, man. But
And that's why artists like hire a publicist, so you don't have to do that, you know, or they'll. Hold on, give me a second. I don't know if y'all can hear this, but my dog is licking his nuts, and that's what that licking sound is. Yo, Morty. Thank you. Jeez Louise. And he was going at it for a while. I'm listening to what you're saying, but I just hear the slobbing.
yeah, I hate when my dog does that.
My bad, guys.
Dog sucking his dick.
But yo, like, back then, we would have more quality control and any press that we saw from an album, because we'll pick up the XXL or whatever magazine, and that is the material that you consume to prep yourself for an album. And the only thing that you would see from an artist is not like, social media didn't exist, so it'll be like one interview with Sway, or when they do their press run.
And everyone hears it and watches it, because that's the only outlet, that's the only platform.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas now, tell me if you go through this. Do you have any people that they tell you that they're a fan of your music, but then they expect you to respond to everything they say to you? Yeah. And it's like, and it's like,
and a lot of times it's like some like bizarre like comments, or just let me just click the heart. So it's a passive aggressive, like, yo, thanks, man.
Yeah, and it's like, we're thankful for y'all, but bro, like, I don't know how to.
Can you imagine how crazy it is for like, like these Instagram models, for example, where it's like, we're talking about like maybe 5 people in our, you know what I mean? Like, as soon as these girls post something, it's just like, it's it's just back to back, just comments like, damn, I want to eat you up. And it's just like, damn, mamacita, you so good. Like, I can imagine, like, and I see some of them respond sometimes, and it's like, I know that you don't want to respond to this shit. But
yeah, they have the politically correct responses.
I'm actually really bad at that, like, just in general. Like,
yeah, that's the thing, man. Like, look, you just came out with your album, and right now you're on that press run phase where you're doing media.
Yeah, and it's honestly, it makes me feel very strange, man, because I think we talked about this in the first podcast, where it's just like, I don't like putting myself out there, but like the more days go by, the more I start trying to like think of more creative ways, instead of just posting the album cover and being like, yo, check this out, so like I started thinking of like, yo, maybe I should go live and talk about the album, so see. But then like I just get lost in my own thoughts, and just like, oh, what if nobody gets in here and I'm talking to myself, and so I just don't end up doing it, because it's not in my nature to like go out of my way to do things like that, but I think I should probably.
It's definitely weird, man. And yeah, you definitely should. And it's funny because I understand, like, you're more introverted. Most artists are. I am too. But
it's not only that, but it's just that I don't expect too many people to be like the other day I did I went on Jolt Radio with Orion to talk about the What They Do project, and I went live on there while we were doing the interview, and I wasn't paying. I'm kind of ADD, so like I'm focused on the interview, and I noticed like I keep looking back to my phone, and there's like a few people in there. I'm like, oh shit, like I didn't even expect for people to be commenting like that, and I couldn't keep up with it because I'm just not used to it. So but sometimes like you might be surprised like who's tuning in and shit, man.
Do you do the thing where you're looking away from your phone screen, and then you look back at it and there's 2 people, and instead of you acknowledging them, you just like look away again? like yeah,
I don't even think I've gone live.
I know y'all see me.
I don't think I've gone live enough times to even know what I do on live.
That's funny. You know, when I go on live, especially at a late hour, there's less people that follow me are on Instagram at that time, so I get less people live.
Yeah,
but
you do it overnight usually when you're at work.
Yeah. But I'll still say, what's up, y'all, blah 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 blah, because it lasts 24 hours, so I'm mindful that people are gonna watch it later, you know. So
right.
so it's almost like a broadcast that gets published, and it exists for
the last
24
time
hours.
I did it at this radio station, I didn't even save it, so it was like I went live and then it just deleted right after, so it's kind of pointless.
Yeah, man.
I'm still getting familiar with all those little things, man. The other day I was at work and this girl asked me for my Instagram, and I was telling her, she's like, no, just give me your phone. And she like scanned the shit, and I was like, damn, that's dope. I didn't even know we could do that. You could just scan people's like, yeah, there's a lot of things that I don't know about. Like, I think just technology in general, man.
Yeah, man. I feel that nowadays social media makes it easier to promote a project, but it makes it harder for an artist to just be an artist and not a influencer, you know, or a social butterfly. I'm still kind of getting used to it myself, man.
Yeah, man. I get to I don't know, bro. Like, I honestly, like, after I post, like, if I'll post something for like 2 days or like in a day, like 2 different posts, I already start feeling like, damn, man, like, it's a weird feeling, man, at least for me, bro, because it always feels for me is like, yo, guys, look at me, like, this is what I'm doing. And it's honestly like, I just genuinely don't want people to listen to my album. Like, I put a lot of work into it. You know, we all put work into our music, so it's like, it's aggravating because you know what you're putting into it. Then on the flip side, you have some, you know, like, I don't know, like this dude with the long neck, you know what I'm saying? He's all over Instagram and like,
oh, okay, I got you.
You know, like, just shit like that is getting millions and millions of views because, you know, sheep, man. People are just, you're just like, oh, look at this guy's long neck. That's so fucking dope. And it's like, yo.
You know why? Because it's like social media now is kind of like,
it's like the more bizarre shit is, the more it gets attention almost, man.
Yeah, people want to use Instagram. Artists like us want to use Instagram as like our portfolio that gets published to everybody else, but to everyone else, Instagram is just where everybody's at.
It just shows where you show your ass, man. It's like,
yeah, you know, I mean, I feel you, man. So I don't know, bro, like, to be honest with you, I think that the most effective way, and I've seen this, you know, not only with just people in the scene, but just in general with hip-hop, it's just like performing, bro. Like, that either you have undeniable music video and track that gets a lot of press, there's a budget behind it, or you just perform in different cities and like you little by little you cultivate this like grassroots audience, you know. Do you have any plans on hitting the road?
I would like to, man. I think the next step for me is, well, for one thing, I want to put everything into my hands. You know, I want to be able to record my own stuff and do everything. So right now, like, I still haven't learned, like, you just gave me Logic Pro, so thank you for that, but I still haven't learned to, I just been focused on this album, man, so I'm waiting to, like, let the dust settle so I could start, like, getting around to doing my own stuff. But that's the next step for me, man. And another thing is, you know, like, I work a lot and it holds back a lot of stuff that I'm trying to do because I can't dedicate as much time. So I would like to get to a point where I have more flexibility with time, and I don't know if that means like just not working, like just because it's a lot of work, man. Like, you have more time in the day, but you have to make sure you have some income coming in, you know. And I know it's not gonna come from just music, so I think like just I want to put everything into like kind of like what you're doing, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you've been doing it for like years, and I don't know if that was ever your intention of just like, yo, I want to do everything on my own and just make sure that I control everything. But my whole thing is just like, people can't step into your mind and see your vision, you know. So like, I might have an idea for a video where I tell you about it, but you don't see it the same way I do. So like, if I have a camera and I can execute it like how I want to, then I'd rather do it like that.
Yeah, that's the best way, man. You invest in your own equipment and then you pay people to work it for you. Like you pay for someone to be a camera guy that knows how to
and on
knows
the
the
flip side,
language
man,
and-
like once I get you get to a point that you get good at it, then you'll have people that want to, you know, like even for like a little home studio, you know, you charge someone 20-25 bucks an hour. It's like nothing, man. It's like an hour of work, 2 hours of work. It's just a little extra money. So that's what I mean by, you know, I don't expect to like blow up off an album and be like, all right, man, I made it, like let me get these millions, like but just like, you know, like using everything. Like I'm not big on photography and all, but I do have a camera and I'll be an idiot to not use it to its advantage, you know?
like you drop the album, it goes live on Spotify and everything, and you close out of that app and you just open your bank app and start refreshing it. Like, all right, any minute now it's gonna start to.
Like the day after I put it out, I just call my job. I'm like, yeah, I'm just not gonna be able to come to work. I just released the album, you know. It's gonna do really good, man. It's gonna do its numbers.
Just letting you know, I'm on now. So, my name's not Charles no more. It's Sir Charles. I just got knighted yesterday by Infinite.
That would be nice, man. But I
Yeah.
think that's all of our, you know, like I don't care to be like rich and famous and be on some celebrity status, but all of us, we just want to be comfortable doing what we love doing, man. It puts you in a better mind frame, man. Like my only stress right now is my job, you know. And
Yo,
it's not.
Nah, day jobs are cool, bro. I support day jobs. Like, I mean, I'm a little conflicted on that because the majority of my life my music life, I was rebellious on this whole day job shit because, you know, you have those moments where someone walks in and they recognize you for your music, but you're at work, and then they look at you differently from then on. But bro, that's one person, bro. Like, who cares, man? Like, and even then, like, anyone that's hating on you for just trying to make some honest money, they probably never had no respect for you in the first place. So it's like, yo, just whatever, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that to me, that's some young boy shit.
It really is, man. I don't look at it like that anymore. Like, but I remember when I, you know, my early 20s, 21, 22, like, I would be like embarrassed if people like would see me, and you know, it was a very common thing because this is like Kendall, where I grew up, and a lot of my jobs were like, you know, like little restaurant jobs and shit like that, where you know people at some point are gonna come in, but all they know is like, oh, he's on MySpace and he has all this music, and you know, so they look at you differently because they haven't seen you since high school, maybe, you know. And I ran into situations like that where I'm just like, damn, this is whack, man. But now, like, I mean, it's not, you know, I have a decent job and I'm not ashamed of it, man. It's, you know, it's just not something that I see myself doing for a long time, you know. It's just a job at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's what I tell myself too. Like, yo, you know what, man? This is not my destiny to be here. And when I come to terms with that, it makes dealing with people's bullshit just a lot easier, because someone will try to give me a hard time for something that's out of my control, but I just happen to be the guy there, and it's so much easier to like let that roll off your shoulders, because it's like, okay, this is not with me, like this is not my destiny to be here forever, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah, man. I kind of let that I don't know, it might be something with my job personally that I don't let people, you know, like in our line of work, what we do, it's you are the face of the company, you know. As soon as somebody walks in, like, you're the face of that company, so it's kind of it falls on you to deal with so many different personalities, and a lot of these people are fucking crazy. And I've gotten to a point now where it's just like, if you're gonna come on like with some like irrational shit, I'm gonna speak to you in the same disrespectful manner, bro. And like, and it stems from that, of just me, like, this is not my future. Like, I'm making money for somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yo, let me ask you something. You live by the beach, and I know that you've been on your like fitness tip lately. And yo, how often do you actually go to the beach now that you're there?
Barely, man. If I do, I go with my dog, and it's like in the morning for like an hour. The thing is, like, I don't have many friends on the beach that live here, so I can't just call people up and be like, yo, what's up, you want to go to the beach, let's have some beers. And I don't have that. And now, you know, like, we're older now, so my friends that I do have, like, they don't really, you know, it's not like, oh, we're all going to the beach and we're gonna hang. Like, it's not like that. It would be like a once in a blue moon type thing. But I moved here, and I'm like, it's like I'm by myself here, you know, like
I'm about to start calling you up, man. I live close to you, and I have a cooler, and I have a dog too. But my dog might want to try to mount himself on your dog, and that's gonna be a fucking headache.
my dog is just gonna look at your dog like, yo, what are you doing? And eventually your dog might be like, all right, this dog's giving me no attention.
For a while, I was going to that beach too, man. I was riding my bike and over there, and yeah, it's wild, bro. Like North Beach is where it's at. Like
I love it, man. Like,
everyone goes to South Beach and they just get stuck in that whole touristy. North Beach is literally the same beach minus everybody.
yeah, it's just a lot more calm. It's not like all the chaos. I like South Beach too. I work in South Beach, but I'd rather live here, man. I'd rather live in North Beach, and you know, South Beach is just too much, man. At night, like, I almost got in a fight the other day. Just some random dude, he asked me to like call him a taxi, and I was like, yo, like, I'm not, you know, because the way it works in my job is like they break us off if we send them like to a far distance, and this kid is going to like the beach, like somewhere else, like down the block, and I was like, yo, I can't call him for that. I'll give you the number and they'll come pick you up. And it was just some street cat, like, you know, like a hood dude. Like he just got mad because I didn't want to call. I was just like, yo, get the fuck out of here, bro. I don't have time for this shit. And then he just started going off. Like, we get so many situations like that at night, man.
You know, it's funny now that I think about it. You and I are living similar lives, bro. Because you work overnight and so do I. You work at a hotel and so do I.
And the same shit, doing the same thing.
Yeah. And when I'm outside, like doing something, working on my van or something, I've had a couple incidents where a guy will pull up, right? And he'll be like, yo, let me use your phone. And I'm looking at this fool like like, are you kidding me, right? In my mind, right? I'm like, are you for real?
It's honestly the way they say certain things.
It's
Because
just
there's been a lot of like, I mean, over here it's not as bad, I imagine, but you're on South Beach, so there's a lot of like beach zombies that are just roaming around all the damn time. But some of them have enough sense to be like, hey man, you know, do you mind if I use your phone? Like, I don't have a phone, and you know, like, if I could deal with that. It's like, all right, if it's just for that, that's cool, you know, like. But some of these people, they come in and they're just like, they're all hostile from the jump, and it's like, what do you expect me to do for you when you're talking to me like this? Like, you think you're not staying here, so. Yeah.
I wonder if it's like that in other cities, bro. Like, because every city has their own thing, and Miami has definitely its own thing. And it's like I have a love-hate relationship with it because I grew up here, but I also am a big fan of decency. And when there's no decency in some type of interaction, I really disconnect real quick. And I wonder, like, what is it like? Not to get too deep with it, but it's like, okay, what is the universe trying to make me do in this moment? Like, is this like what is this training me for, you know? Because man, especially overnight and on the east side of town, it's not friendly, you know?
Yeah.
And the type of folk that you get exposed to starts to kind of like become your reality when it's like every single day, you know? And I know you deal with similar things, and you live on the beach.
Yeah, so it's like magnified. It's like it's 10 times worse over there. Honestly, man, I think a lot of shit is slowed down in the beach. Like, I noticed, like, there'll be weekends even that it's just like a ghost town, and I think it's because so much stuff happens on the beach that a lot of locals have stopped coming here. Yeah, I've noticed that a lot compared to like a few years ago. I don't know what it is, man, but I do know that, I mean, I could only speak from like assumptions. Like, if I was homeless, I would much rather be a homeless guy on the beach than like, you know, like in the middle of the street, and just because then it's like, at least you have the beach there and you can go in the water, and you know what I mean? Like, so I think a lot of people that are homeless, like, they gravitate to this area because of different reasons. I mean, not only that, but you have tourists here, and everyone's here, their intention is to get drunk. And what happens when people get drunk and they're tourists? They'll leave shit behind. So I think a lot of people that are homeless, they see more opportunity for them. Yeah,
I would imagine that downtown is probably the worst place to be homeless at. especially those homeless cities. You know what's funny?
Yeah.
This music, this beat that just came on is fitting to this topic. It just sounds like downtown homeless.
Quentin Tarantino shit.
But like, you know, those homeless, those tent cities, you know, that shit is wild. Like tent cities are, you know, man, when I was out in California, they do have tent cities, but they're like in the woods. So the thing is that like in North California, most roads are like winding roads because of all the, you know, just all the trees growing all the time, and you gotta kind of maintain that. So it's kind of difficult to keep a straight road, especially if it's like alongside a mountain. So it would never occur to you that 100 feet that way, when you pull over on some little patch of dirt on the side of the road, and you keep going that way, and you'll start to walk into like furniture in the woods. You'll see a couch, you see a lazy boy, you see one tent, then you see a fire, you know, like a bonfire, and then, you know, so you keep going. And I've been on certain situations with a friend of mine where he's like, yo, I gotta go pick something up. Okay. And I get in his car and we're riding, just chilling, maybe smoking a joint or something, and then he'll pull out to like this little like patch of dirt, and he's like, all right, follow me. Okay. And I noticed that we're not in the town, we're just in the we're in the woods, and I am from Miami, Florida, and this is very weird. And we're walking into the woods, and we'll just arrive at this fucking tent community, and he'll tell me, all right, wait right here. And he walks that way, and now I'm in the woods by myself, and there's a couch, and I'm thinking about sitting on it, but I'm like, fuck no. And I just stand there, and some guy pulls up on me like, who are you? And I'm like, nigga, who are you? Like, what?
It's like you sit on the couch and someone's like, hey man, why are you in my house?
Yeah, straight up. And then 15 minutes go by, and it's starting to get kind of dark because there's so much trees and not that much light's coming through. And I'm just like, what the fuck? What is going on? You know what I'm saying? And that's in North California, where this is like towns. And so whatever, my friend comes back and with a large garbage bag. Who knows what's in there? We just leave, you know. But in South Florida, there's a lot of tent cities too. You know, yeah. we just don't know where they're at, but they're there.
Hey, the other day I was in I was on A Street. I was A Street in like Northwest. I forgot where exactly, but I was taking an Uber back to my house, man. And you know how like the Uber pool, it's like, oh, save $3 to walk to your destination, or so. I get an Uber and it's like, for one thing, it tells me to walk like 5 blocks from where I am. So I'm like, goddamn, like, and I have like arrival time is 5 minutes, so I'm power walking because I'm trying to like meet the car and have enough time to get there. By the time I finally get to the street that it tells me to go to, it's just in an underpass where it's just like a whole group of just like homeless people living there, and it's the same thing. Like they just have tents there, they're just posted up. Like you could tell it's like that's their home base, you know. It's not like they're just posted up there for the day. Like they have all their stuff there, and it was really weird because it was like in the middle of nowhere, and I was like, damn, like I don't feel very comfortable just standing here in an underpass. Like I have my camera with me and everything. I'm just there.
Damn, I just dropped my album. What the fuck?
It's like this is where it led me to.
That's funny. Yeah, man. You know, I don't know, man. When I eventually hit the road, I know I'm gonna be dealing with a lot more of that, and I'm not gonna be a mile away from a family member or a friend's house. I'm gonna be in the middle of the country, whatever. So, maybe that's what the universe is conditioning me for, like like awkward interactions with people that I probably shouldn't be doing any business with, you know.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm sure as like you start like hitting city to city, you'd have to make some sort of like money as you're coming in. So as you're doing that, you know, you'll have different scenarios, and you know, I'm sure you'll come across different situations where it's like, all right, like I have enough money to just get this little hotel for the night and then be on the road tomorrow, you know.
Airbnb is where it's at, bro. Like, do you have that app?
Yeah, I've never used it, but yeah, everyone I know uses it.
Airbnb is where it's at, man.
I've never really had a reason to. Since it's been like popular, I haven't really traveled anywhere, man. So.
That's
Fucking
that's
travel
funny.
to like Kendall and other places in Miami.
Man, like
Oh,
aside.
by the way, a side note. So we're doing this show next week for my album release, and you were talking about Airbnb. Have you ever been to Esquina de Abuela?
I have not yet.
It's a dope spot, man. It's really like, it's crazy because it's like an Airbnb. Like they rent it out there. So we have like what we're gonna do is like, you know, I'm gonna have copies of the album, and it's gonna be $12, but you get a copy of the album, and it's dope. It's a digipack, so it's not like just, you know, like it's presentable, man. We also got a sponsor to bring beer, so you know nobody's gonna have to pay for any beer. We don't have alcohol, but if you like beer, then you know we have a very sufficient amount. But the other thing that we have with the $12 included is a raffle ticket to the Airbnb for Esquina de Abuela. So I don't know how that's gonna work with certain people, because I like the place is like, it's dope, man. I would like to stay there if I was planning like a music video or something like that. But yeah, that's just for all the listeners, man. It's,
Like you just show up with your grandmother and like ask her if this place looks familiar to her, and she's like, no, not really.
this ain't my corner.
Yeah, man, I haven't had much of a chance to hit up any venues, bro. I need to make time for that, man.
Yeah, that's another thing I need to start doing now, is showing face. And it's hard with, you know, with our jobs. I have 2 days to go out and, you know.
Oh, you know what? I wanted to ask you, speaking of that, man. Like, you know, you're in this group, what they do, right? With Orion, Spaz, and Inf, right? And you just dropped a solo album, but y'all dropped this project, right? What's up, man? I know you've been pretty much like a solo artist the majority of the time you've been making music, and I've been in a group too, and I much rather prefer being a solo artist. But what's that like for you?
What do you mean, like comparison? Like,
Yeah, like
if
being
I
in a,
like one more
being
than
in
the
a
other?
group, like what's it like, man, for
I
you?
mean, I love it, man. It's obviously, it comes with a bunch of headaches because, you know, it's just with everything, man. Like you try to book a show and it never works out. Like, all right, we're gonna book a show and everything's gonna be like, you have to work on everything, you know. So it makes it easier in the sense of like, if we want to get something done, we have everyone contributing, as opposed to like, you know, if we want to do a video, like I have to come out of pocket for all my solo shit. And so in that sense, like it helps us move a lot quicker. It creatively, I think is dope, man, because I like seeing like where other people's minds are and where they, you know, where they're going in certain songs. And, you know, so just feeding off people's energy and shit like that. Like it made like the What They Do project, it made me kind of like approach what I was doing on it differently and just focus more on like, you know, compact a verse, because you only have a verse to shine. So it's like you have to make sure that it's as impactful as the rest of it. And I think all of us, we did a good job in that. You know, I think everyone delivered how they should have, man, and some kind of went above and beyond in some other tracks. But I don't know, man, like the solo shit is like, it's more self-satisfaction. Like this album, once I finished it and I heard it back, it was kind of like you know, like when J. Cole dropped Forest Hills Drive. What was it called? Forest Hills,
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, that album, you know, it did great. But I remember when he put it out, like he was saying, it's like, yo, like just the feeling that I get from putting this shit, like it just felt right. You know what I mean? It just finally got it done and it's out there. And you know, and that's what I got from this album. The whole, like, there's songs that are a little bit more personal, and those songs, to me, it's like, no matter who says what, like if you don't like it, like the satisfaction I get from doing songs like that, it means everything to me, man. Like that shit just, it's priceless, man. So I don't know, man, like I like both of them, man. I like doing the solo shit and the group shit. It's just, I think the group shit is more, it's, you know, like a lot more comes into play and gives you more like.
Would you say that now these guys are like the closest things that you have to like some brothers?
Yeah, for sure. And you know, it's dope, man, because a lot of times for me, like since I am how I am, like I don't really reach out to many people, so I get lost in my own, like sometimes I lose motivation because, you know, it's just literally me, you know. So just to be around like minds, man, like it makes you think differently. It makes you think like, all right, like I see what he's doing. Like what should I do? You know.
Yo, what are some things that you are? I mean, if you don't mind talking about this, this is the type of shit I like to talk about. Like, what are some things that you feel like you can improve on and just in your life, bro, at the moment? Okay, like look, I'll set it up just so you can kind of see like where I'm at. Like right now, I feel like a thing that I can improve on, that I'm working on trying to improve, and I truly am struggling with right now is like practicing compassion with people. You know, like I over the last maybe like almost 2 years now, because of everything that I went through prior to that, and coming out and like you know, being back in South Florida and very quickly being thrown to the wolves of how fast paced and how just rude and everything is in South Florida, it makes it really, really hard for me to still be chill and cool with everyone. And I find myself being kind of like more rude than I'd like to be to complete strangers. And I know that I don't want to be like that. So I'm practicing just kind of like being cool, man, with people. And you know what helps me? Like taking a deep breath while they're speaking. Mm-hmm. Like I'll take a deep breath, so at the very least I'm not short of breath, which kind of accelerates my heart rate. And then I'll be like, okay, yeah, word.
You're like Carl Winslow in that episode. You ever seen that episode when he went to like a therapist and they're like, to deal with Urkel, he's like, just breathe, and he's like 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me? Like he used to have to say that just to like every time Urkel would come in and piss him off, be like, let me breathe.
Yeah,
like you,
yeah.
bro.
That's definitely where I'm at right now, man. And that's why I wanted to ask you, like, is there any aspect of your life that you kind of feel like, you know, you're trying to improve on?
Yeah, I mean, for one thing, I think not only with music, but just like with everything in life, just because of like I'm a lot more comfortable to myself, man, and I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing, but especially for music artists, like right now, like I have to like keep reminding myself, like, yo, don't get upset if people aren't like tuning into your shit, because realistically, you don't talk to these fucking people throughout the year, you know, and it's like, it's not a personal thing. It's just, I don't, you know, like aside from my core group of people, I'm not really the type to reach out to people like that, like so often. And, you know, and I feel like that holds me back in a lot of stuff that I do. Even like when I used to battle rap, like I took pride in that. I took pride in being one of the dudes. Just, I see everyone like befriending, it's like, oh, you know, let's make battle groups and let's share our bars. And for me, like I could always see the fickleness in these people and like how people switch. So when I was battling, I would make it a point to just kind of keep to myself. But then as time went by, I realized that battle rap is just a huge popularity contest, and you can get somewhere if you're in, you know, like if you're in a certain crowd. And, you know, so I think that holds me back a lot, man, is just not putting myself out there and just not giving a shit of what people think, man. I think sometimes I care a little too much about what people think, and it holds me back from like even the dumbest things, like, oh, I'm not gonna post this today because I posted a similar picture yesterday. And, you know, I overthink shit, man. That's one of my, I mean, that's where the name derives from. 1,000 Thoughts came from that. You know, it's just, I'm a very quiet dude, but I'm always running through my head, and like, it's, you know, sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's bad. You know, like I have a very strong intuition, but sometimes like I just assume certain things, and it kind of backfires on me because, you know, I'm just kind of going by my own assumption. And, you know, so I think that's probably like one of the main things I'd like to change.
All right, so what do you do to work on that?
Just stop caring, bro. Just put it out there. Just, you know, not be so like, we're like so locked into like seeing what people do and just being like, all right, he's doing it like this, let me do this. And like, but who the fuck are you to tell me like, yo, if I want to like, you know, like let's say like I'm posting a music video, for example, like what you were saying earlier, is like, yo, should I just be like, yo guys, I just put out my music video, hope you guys can check it out? Like, do you go with the same cliche shit, or maybe you might catch a little more attention if you say some outlandish shit? Like, as long as you don't offend people, but like, just say like, I have a funny personality, but it doesn't come out too often around people I don't know. You know, like, people see that once they get to know me better. So like, I'm always torn in between doing some like funny shit, but then I'm just like, yo, I don't think people have my same sense of humor. They might like not see what I'm doing, and they might judge me, and then I might lose a follower or a fan, you know? So like, but at the end of the day, it's like, yo, fuck you, man. Like, if you don't like this, then go fuck yourself. Go, you know, like, you're listening to Cardi B and shit, and all her dumb shit that she's saying. Like, why should I be like, oh guys, go check this out, and I hope you guys enjoy it? Why can't I be like, yo, man, you guys are fucking stupid if you don't listen to this shit, bro. You guys are fucking, you know, like this.
And then you find yourself kind of like holding back from lashing out because you don't want to be just a mad rapper. Like, yo, this is my 4th album, yo. This is my 4th album.
Yeah.
And Biggie Smalls dropped this album and he be on top of the world. And you don't want to be that guy, you know? I mean, yo, I find myself dealing with that too, man. Like, not for nothing, man. Like, bro, like, my music, yo, I feel like my music just pierces the soul if you sit and listen to it. But not everyone's trying to get their soul pierced all the time, you know?
Yeah.
So I have to accept that that's the Libra scale that I weigh out, you know, like the integrity I put into my music versus the appeal that it has to the general audience, you know? And that's why I love people like A$AP Rock and, you know, Atmosphere, and even right now Evidence with his album. Just guys like that, because they're very patient, you know, and they're not judgmental. They come out with their music, they show it to as many people as they could, but they're not shoving it down your throats because they're entitled to you being a fan of their shit. You know what I'm saying? And I like that. And that's why in the beginning I was like, oh, you know, maybe, you know, like doing some shows and, you know, like doing some shows and building it up little by little. It's probably a little bit of a healthier trajectory than, you know, obviously I can tell you really don't like Cardi B or these other guys.
Like Cardi B, man. I actually, you know what's funny is like Spaz always gets on me because I'm always like bigging up Cardi B. When she came out with the first song, Bloody Money or whatever, yo, I love that song.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. I was gonna say, like, you know, I actually like Cardi B too. There's something about, you know, like, I don't know, something about her.
She's the perfect example of what I'm saying is why do you love her? Why do you like her? Why do you accept her? Not because she's dope, or it's because
she doesn't give a fuck.
She has no filter. She has no fucking filter, and she just, so it's like you have to respect someone that just, they put it all out, because with people like that, you know, there's no ulterior motive. You know that there's, you know what I'm saying? Like, she just puts it all out there and she lets you see exactly who she is. And that, to me, like, I feel like in the long run, man, like, it shows the more human side of you, which if you're a music artist, like, people want to see that in you. They don't just want to see the robotic, just like, yo, check it out. But then, like, you know, I'm torn in between that, and then I see other people, I feel like less is more, man. Like, I feel like when you just say something like, yo, like just 3 words, you know, like, it's just so much more, like, at least mystery behind it, and it makes people like, damn, like, let me see what this is about, as opposed to, like, you know, just saying everything, just putting, you know. So it's, I don't know, man, like, I'm kind of torn in between both of them, and I feel like that's something that I would like to change. And
Evidence, right? He has this one lyric in Whether or Not where he goes, things I never thought about, trying to be elusive in the process get forgot about, you know, like, trying to be elusive and in the process get forgot about. And yo, that shit was so ill to me, because in the earlier in my life, all my favorite rappers, they weren't everywhere, you know, like, but now everyone's very available with all their media, and yeah, it's cool. But I kind of like the old days where there was less of everybody, because
they were everywhere for us, because we knew how to find them. Right,
they were our whole worlds, you know, and then we knew where all the ill shit was. Even their album covers was kind of plain, but then you press play and all the substances in the music. So I feel you. I kind of struggle with that too. Like how descriptive do I want to be about this, or should I even be elaborating on this, or should I just make a song about it? You know, like no, I feel you.
So you made a song about it. Don't you have a song? It's titled
About.
Oh, what the song about?
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's an oldie, man.
Yeah, but I mean, besides that, I think another big thing that I would like to change is just disciplining myself, man, and everything. You know, just now that, you know, I've been going to the gym for a year, and I've, you know, like, I'm very consistent with it, but I've went back to my old eating habits, and that's because of this. Like, I don't have the discipline to be like, all right, like, I should just eat salads and this, because I'm very limited on, like, healthy foods, because I don't like vegetables. And so, you know, discipline in that, and just, you know, I smoke weed a lot, and I don't think it's an issue, but I could save some money if I didn't. So, you know, that all stems in discipline too. And, you know, just, I think that just for myself, man, it's like for my own self-improvement. I don't think I have any like issues of, but it's like, you know, like after a year of going to the gym, and it's like, damn, like I still got my little stomach and shit, but I could see results, but I could see way more if I followed like a more strict diet, you know. And as you're like just on the gym alone, like just if you start doing it a lot, you start going to the gym, it kind of becomes like you feel counterproductive. If you're going to the gym for an hour and a half, then you go back home and you just like eat donuts and you know. So
yeah, when you're The Rock, you can do that, because he be posting some pictures of like 3 pizzas. Like,
there's nothing like, I mean, you could eat pizza, you could eat like, it doesn't mean you have to eat like fucking broccoli and, you know, but just disciplining yourself. Like, just one thing for me is like sweets, man. Like I have a sweet tooth, and when I first started like in the gym, I would substitute that for fruits, and I love eating fruits. Sounds gay as fuck, but I love eating fruit. But,
yo, fruits are awesome, bro. That's where it's at, man.
Yeah, but I love it, man. But it got to a point where you know, just like any other diet, like you would do good. It's like, all right, man, I did this for 2-3 weeks. Let me cheat myself and let me get something, you know. And then that just turns into like, all right, man, like it's not a big deal, man. Let me just.
Yeah, I feel like the problem comes in when you do it once, and then you know you're capable of doing it, and that's what justifies you not doing it ever again, because you know you can do it. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I fasted for 21 days. I can fast whenever I want, and you just keep eating food.
Yeah,
Whatever, I'll
and
get around to the fast.
What affects me too is just the schedule, my job. Just, you know, like a lot of times I don't end up cooking because I would have to cook at like 2 in the afternoon to eat at like 2 in the morning, you know. So a lot of times, like when I'm at home in the afternoon, like I'll just eat something like a sandwich real quick, and then I get to work and I don't bring food, and then I get hungry. So it's like, oh, it's just down the street, there's like 20 different pizzerias, so like let me just get something there, and then that's what ends up happening.
Yeah, I feel you, man. No, it's not easy, bro. I've struggled with weight my whole life, bro. Like I talk about that a good amount in my music. It seems to be a reoccurring topic that I always go back to. Like that's my struggle, gluttony, you know. Like I turned into a glutton. I couldn't fasten the button on my pants, and my shirt was too tight to fit my gut in. You know, like
That was in the Indie song, right?
no, that's on a song that hasn't come out yet. Innies is another one, you know. Or in fact, my nipples are innies. Or in high school, I thought I was overweight when I was skinny. You know, like Deuce Bigelow, watching Nickelodeon. Now I'm all grown up, living here in a telly beer belly full of Michelob. It's like I struggle with food, bro. You know, and that's also one of the reasons why I haven't put out any visuals lately.
That's weird, yo, because as long as I've known you, you've been like a skinny dude, or maybe not skinny, but like you've always been like a smaller dude.
Well,
I think like
I don't know. And okay, Deuce Bigelow. Like when I was in high school, for some reason I thought I was fat, and that affected me. And then I look back at photos of me when I was in high school, and I was skinny. And now I actually am fat, and I'm like, damn. You know, like what the fuck? Like what was I thinking back then? You know, and like when I first met my ex, that's when I was in the best shape I was in. But then you get that You
yeah,
get
from
you,
being in a relationship. The fucking,
yeah, you get hubby chubby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, you know what I'm saying? And then, fuck, bro, it's just whatever. But nah, I feel you, man. I mean, if I were to say like a healthy way to go about improving yourself, man, is writing shit down, bro. Do you do that? Like writing, I need to lose weight.
Yeah,
No
I'll
eating
write
sugar.
like I need to get cocaine so I don't eat for 2 days, and then I do
Okay.
just that.
And then you burn the notes. There's no evidence or anything like that, you know?
And the only evidence is the next day when it's in my system.
Cocaine. Good. Check. You have a red pen? That's funny. Fuck, man.
No, but yeah, I don't do that as much as I should, but yeah, that's definitely something that I try to like. I have like some papers on my wall, but I don't pay attention to them. I wrote it like in the beginning of the year,
And they become background.
yeah. But you know what's funny is like when I first moved into this place that I'm at now, I had like a list of like to-dos like by the end of the year, and it made me think of when I read The Secret. You read The Secret before?
I love The Secret, man.
Bro, like it made me, because in The Secret it says something like, there was an example of like some guy is like, yo, write on a piece of paper whatever you want $1 million, and you know, not only like you can't only write and then expect it to fall from the sky. You have to like, there's certain steps to take to get to that, you know. So I forgot what the exact story was, but it was like, you know, and then we're here a year later, and I think it was $100,000 that he wanted or something, and you know, I forgot what he ended up doing, but fast forward to like a year, and he had made like $93,000, and you know, in the book it was just like, you know, do you think this guy was upset because he didn't reach 100,000, or do you think he was satisfied and content because he made a goal?
I love that
and
part, man.
And that, like, yeah, bro, like,
I must have watched that DVD like 1,000, not 1,000, but so many times. I bought it when it first came out. I lent it to this girl that I knew when I was like in middle school or high school, whatever. And it took her a while to mail it back to me, and I was like, mail my fucking DVD back, yo.
she's like, I'm still working on myself.
Yeah, no, hell no, she was not. And I was like, I know, and I remember I was mad, like, I know you're not, you're watching it, and I want to watch it, and that shit cost me like $12, and I just want my DVD, just send it back.
I got it at good. The DVD never did shit for me, man. I read the book, and the reason why that book, because have you ever read the book? It's very like watered down. It's a very like basic, but it's just like repetition. It's just basically giving you different examples of like, oh, you can do it, believe in yourself, and it's very corny, but I read the book in like a day. It was like super easy to read, man. It was very quick. But at the time, like it was like 2007 or 8, and I talked about this on Shadi's podcast. My friend Renee, who was doing the podcast with Shadi, we used to live together. And that book, like it started out as a joke because we had a friend of ours, my friend Miguel, grew up with him, went to high school with him, and he was all about it, bro. Like he got this book, but he would say like in a jokingly manner, like he would be very positive, but like every little thing they'll be like, you know, we'll eat pizza, and be like, no man, that's not very positive, man, you have to eat good, and like everything became The Secret, and it became like kind of like an inside joke with us. But our other roommate, he like would really apply that shit, and our roommate was he was kind of like, he had nothing here, you know, like his family all got like deported, and he was here by himself. He doesn't have papers, so he couldn't work. So this is somebody that when we all first moved together, we were looking out for him because he had nothing. By the end of the year, when we were all moving out, it was the other way around. He was like looking out for us. Then the other two, me and my friend Renee, you know, like we had lost our jobs. We were like struggling just to pay rent. And this dude was just all about like, yo man, I got you. And like, and he has a very strong mentality, and like that was just like, it was very eye-opening for me, man, because it's just like, I really believe that, man. It's like you have to put out a certain type of energy to like get that back. You can't just be like, damn, I need $100,000 and this and that, and just wait for the shit to happen, you know?
Yeah, I think that when you write it down, it's like putting it in your GPS, and like your phone, like the universe shows you the route, how to get there. But then you got to turn the car on and go.
You have to, well, that's the whole, what I was saying is like, so when I first moved into this place, I had a paper, and I forgot that it was there. But then like a year later, I'm looking at it and I'm like, damn, one of the things it says like get a better job or get a better paying job, and I'm at a job that pays me way better than the fucking miserable job I was in before. You know, get a better place, you know, just like a bunch of little things that I didn't even realize happened, you know. And
Oh, I love when that happens. Cause I be writing mad to-do lists, and then after a while I have a bunch of papers with notes, and every like 4, 5, 6 months I'll do a spring cleaning of all my papers, and I'll go through all of them, and I'll be like, oh, I did that already. Oh, I did that already. Oh, I haven't done that, and I'll put that one to the side, and I'll get all the ones that I haven't done yet and make a new organized handwriting all neat. You know. And it's funny how when you assign yourself things, and that kind of gives you a sense of purpose. You know?
I think subconsciously it does something, bro. Like the fact that you have it up, even if you're not looking at it every day, I think it just kind of like resonates in your head. And like if it's something that's like you really want and you're working towards, and it's something that's like possible, then, you know, I feel like you just, you know, you have to meet it halfway, man.
I mean, look, man, you just came out with the album, bro. Like, I remember the last time that you did the podcast with me, you was in a different space, bro.
I remember I was telling you, like, yo, I'm going to put it out in May of last year. And, like, and that, yo, if you go through all my rhyme books, at least for the past few years, man, you'll see, I don't know if you do this, but I write all the songs down. And I'm just, you know, so, like, every other few pages in my rhyme book, just to, like, remind myself what I have done, I'll write all the names of the songs. And that's another form of like, you know, you like the shit is finally done. And I have probably hundreds of those papers that are just like, all right, the first is the introduction, number 2 is John Lennon, and then the next one would be like, no, number 4 will be John Lennon, and then, you know.
Yeah, I love that, man. Like all my notebooks have, bro, for real, bro, you write your life, bro. Like, you know how they say, like, you know, so God gave us free will, bro, but like we're also in control. And I struggle with understanding that, because we do have free will to like live the lives that we want, but he is also always in control. I almost feel like he's just like the chess player that at any moment he can just do a checkmate and just completely in one swoop just scratch off 10 things, and they simultaneously are cohesive. But at the same time, like if we just decide to go left one day, like we write out our lives, bro, you know. Like those notebooks, man, is it's so important, man. Like you give yourself a purpose. If you decide one day, you know what, I'm gonna be a fucking rapper, bro, you know, I like rap, I can rhyme Valentine with Calvin Klein, I can fucking rap, bro.
I might use that.
I mean, I literally just said it, so you cannot use that. But it's like, yo, bro, I'm capable of doing this shit, man. I mean, I know thousands be trying to take my rhyme schemes and shit, but
right now, just since you said, I've thought of like 4 words that rhyme with that, so I'm definitely using it.
Like, look, I'd be like Calvin Klein and trying to get a Valentine, but now that popped up in one of thousands lines, and that'd be driving me out my mind. Whatever. I'm fucking.
That whole bar is going somewhere.
No, it was. I didn't think it went anywhere. But like,
no, I mean in my album, it's gonna end up somewhere.
But yeah, man, like, bro, that's awesome, man. You know, I'm happy for you, bro. Like, you came out with the fucking album, and right after the group album, and the artwork is super on point. You guys be coming out with release parties. You're getting free beer and cocaine and shit.
Hell yeah.
And like,
all the coke now. Yeah, man, it's fucking. I wish we had that. That will bring a lot more people out there, but then it might cause some fights and fucking. That's
funny, bro. I mean, but look, man. Like, I think on that note, bro, it's good to wrap this up, man. Cause on that note, bro, everybody check out. What's your Instagram again?
So now what it is? No, cause my shit got deleted, and you know, it came back. So after. So I don't know what happened, bro, but like the one I used to use, it came back, and I noticed that it came back when I was already active on this one. So I was like, oh shit, I could just go back to my old one. So I went back to my old one, and I changed the name to Sir Charles 1000 because that's the name I want to use. But then after I changed it, it started doing like now, like to this day, every time I try to sign in, it just gives me an error and it doesn't let me do anything. So I can't use my old page. And now because I can't change the name on my old one, I have to make up another one. So now my Instagram, I'm sorry for the backstory and shit, but it's been like, I don't understand Instagram, but so now like it's confirmed, like I'm staying it's Sir_Charles 1K.
Sir_Charles 1K, and it's Chronicles of the Third Born, but that's third with 3RD, right?
Yeah.
Chronicles of the Third Born, that's his album.
Yeah, it's everywhere, man. Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music. If you don't have any of those platforms, you could find it on SoundCloud for free. I will also have physical copies in a few days. If you're in Miami, which most of the people listening probably are, we have a show next week. It's for the album release. It's at Esquina de Abuela, and yeah, man, it's been a long time in the making. If you want a physical copy, you should come out, drink some beer with us. We also have the What They Do tapes if you still haven't gotten that. And yeah, man, we're just, we're trying to do it with the home team, man. So, it's going to be Heron. It's Heron's birthday too. So, we're going to be celebrating that. The homie Serum.
Shout out to Serum. Yeah, man. This is dope, man. On that note, bro, like, remember, guys, life is one day at a time, bro. One moment at a time, really.
So just listen to the album, man, because you never know when you'll be gone.
If you see 1,000 walking down the street, just give him his flowers, bro. Go to the flower store and just
lie to me and tell me that, yeah, man, this shit was dope.
Word. All right, y'all. We out of here, man. Peace.
Peace.
Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
Medianoche.
Podcast.
Medianoche.
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 Podcast.